Coming up on News Live at 6, the trial involving an ex-aide of Governor Cuomo continues. We'll tell you why the trial has not yet come to an end.
And CitrusTV News reporter Brendan Tierney takes us to the Carrier Dome for Chancellor Syverud's 101st ROTC Cadet Review.
Plus, the February jobs report came out today. Find out how many jobs were created last month. CitrusTV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
West Fayette Street near Armory Square will be closed until Tuesday because of a water main break early this morning. Good evening. I'm Noah Eagle.
And I'm Chris Venzon. The officials said the street will be closed on South Salina Street and between South Clinton Street. The water department is currently repairing the road. Syracuse University's 101st Chancellor's Review for ROTC cadets was held this morning in the Carrier Dome. Vice Chancellor Mike Haney says ROTC students and student veterans bring diverse ideas to classrooms here at Syracuse because of their military experience.
That makes for an educational environment, a classroom environment that benefits all of our students because they bring that diversity of perspective, background, etc. to the academic environment.
Syracuse's commitment to the military and veterans goes well beyond the Army and Air Force cadets on the field. Haney says building the National Veterans Resource Center will provide a home for the ROTC active and former military members at the university.
And I think bringing them together in the same building creates a lot of very powerful synergies. The opportunity for mentoring and learning from those who have served in terms of our ROTC cadets, those who are aspiring to serve. It's what education is all about.
Haney says today's honorees are committed to serve their nation and will be commissioned as lieutenants in the military after graduation. Chancellor Kent Syverud says ROTC cadets need to be supported in the good times and bad because their effort never stops.
I wish I could give you more to thank you for staying on the field the day before spring break, for staying on the field at 6:30 in the morning, for staying on the field for weekends and summer breaks. But all I can do is say I am proud of you, I believe in you, and I expect great things from you. Many thanks.
The ceremony includes the presentation of awards for achievements in the military and classroom. Brendan Tierney, CitrusTV News.
As students leave for spring break, some of SU's campus services will be taking a break with them. All main campus dining halls and cafes are closed for the duration of break, with the exception of Eggers Cafe and West Campus Starbucks. Furthermore, Byrd Library and Carnegie Library will close at 8 p.m. and 5 p.m. respectively during the break. South Campus bus schedules will also change during the break. All schedules can be found on parking.syr.edu. Finally, some gyms, including BBB, Flanagan, and Marion, will be closed. An English professor here at SU will be a new member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters. George Saunders is one of 12 individuals who will be inducted into the Academy in May. The Academy honors America's leading writers, artists, composers, and architects. Saunders has earned numerous awards for his work, including the World Fantasy Award for Best Short Fiction.
Some students from SU's Setner School of Music are gearing up for quite the unique spring break experience. The students will meet professionals and visit performing arts institutions during their week in New York City. The event is part of an immersion experience known as Gilbert Week New York City Seminar for Music Professions. And other students are leaving campus for spring break. They can make use of SU's free spring break shuttles. The Student Association is providing these shuttles to and from the Syracuse Airport and to the Regional Transportation Center. The shuttles will run through Sunday, departing from campus from the Shine Center.
And although we might be shivering here in Syracuse, some students are already burning out in the sun on their spring break trips. CitrusTV reporter Sunny Balkin went out to see where college kids are headed next week.
Forbes has released their 2018 top spring break destinations, with places like Disneyland and Honolulu topping the list. CitrusTV News went out to see if SU students' spring break plans compare.
Spring break, I'm headed home to my family in Massachusetts, so it's going to be kind of low-key. It'll be nice. I'm going home. I'm also going home.
I'm staying in Syracuse. I'm going to be staying here.
Students say money is the main reason they're staying put this spring break.
I'd love to go away, but it's so expensive, so that's my one problem with it.
If they could go away,
it seems like most of the students want to go someplace warm, like Mexico.
Many of them choosing U.S. News and World Report's #1 spring break destination.
A lot of my friends are going to Cancun. It wish I was going. I love the beach, but I will be stuck in cold Syracuse, which is where I'm from.
Cancun, definitely. I have a couple friends that are going to Cancun, so.
Despite this want to go away,
It seems the most popular place to go is to just go home. Sunny Balkin, Citrus TV News.
Brilliant.
And hopefully all SU students will enjoy a relaxing spring break next week. I mean, I'm sure those trips sound fantastic.
GNC is growing its operations in Onondaga County. The food distributor completed a 70,000-foot addition to its warehouse in Van Buren, and it has plans for even more expansion. Additionally, GNC hired 75 new employees at that location in Van Buren. One Skinny Atlas alum is climbing the ladder in Washington. Taylor Wenieth starts a new job in the Housing and Urban Development Department focusing on opioid policies. Wenieth graduated St. John's University in Skinny Atlas in 2016, but resigned from his post in the Office of the National Drug Control Policy after his qualifications were brought into question. He said he was unfairly criticized for filling a job that was meant to be temporary.
And a famous face will be on stage at the Great New York State Fair this Labor Day. Niall Horan, formerly of One Direction, will perform at Chevy Court as part of his solo tour. Maren Morris will also open for Horan at the concert, and Horan and Morris will join Lil Yachty and Hunter Hayes as performers at the fair. A new bill in the New York State Senate would allow for Las Vegas-style betting books in 4 casinos. Senator John Bonisic of Orange County introduced the bill, which does not yet have a sponsor. Sports gambling laws will not take effect until the U.S. Supreme Court overturns a federal ban on sports betting. New Jersey recently brought a challenge to the ban, which could be decided in March.
Jury deliberations continue in the trial of Governor Cuomo's aide, Joseph Percoco. Percoco is accused of receiving bribes from Syracuse businessmen Stephen Alio and Joseph Girardi in exchange for favors in the state government. After 31 hours of deliberation, the jurors have still not reached a verdict. The case is now going into its 8th week.
Well, as we heard from Sunny before, a lot of SU students are off to warmer climates for spring break, Chris.
Yeah, I think we're staying put in beautiful and sunny Florida, Noah.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, this is basically Florida here in Syracuse. And we'll be here pretty much all week, making sure everything is smooth and running well. Yeah. Nicole Weaving, can you tell us any good news, or are we going to keep this gorgeous weather here to stay?
Nicole.
Oh, yes, this weather is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, right now we're at 36 degrees outside. It feels really, though, closer to 27 because there's a decent amount of wind, somewhere between 50 and 20 miles per hour. As we take a look around the rest of central New York, similar temperatures, 32 in Penn Yan, 34 in Binghamton, similar 34 in Rome, and slightly warmer, 36 in Fulton, similar to us here in Syracuse. But tonight, it's going to get down to a slightly chillier 27 degrees. So even though it feels like 27 right now, it's warmer, so this lower temperature will definitely be felt. Continues that higher wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour. There'll also be more snow tonight that'll be continuing, but only about 1 inch accumulating. And I'll have more about that snow and another winter storm that could be coming later in the show.
Thank you, Nikki, thank you so much. Coming up, a hostage situation in California. We'll have the latest after the break.
And has decided to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Talking Points analyst Jack Watson will be breaking down the move after the break. Stay tuned.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Welcome back. According to a county fire chief, a gunman is holding hostages at the Veterans Home of California. A spokesperson confirmed that shots were heard at the complex, which holds 850 veterans, Noah.
Initial emergency calls came in before 11 this morning. Authorities are on the scene, including a SWAT team from the Highway Patrol.
The Veterans Home houses 1,000 veterans who served in wars going back to World War II.
And Parkland shooter Nicholas Cruz is scheduled to appear in court next Wednesday for his arraignment hearing. Cruz faces 34 accounts of premeditated and attempted murder. A Broward County grand jury fled the charges on Wednesday.
Cruz confessed to the shooting a day after the event and was indicted on the charges yesterday. His arraignment falls 1 month after the deadly attack.
Cruz is being held without bail and is segregated from other prisoners.
The attack survivors of the shooting to press the government for better gun control. Earlier today, Governor Rick Scott signed a compromise gun bill in response.
The new bill raises the minimum age to buy rifles from 18 to 21. In addition, it bans bump stocks that allow guns to fire at an automatic speed.
The bill also includes a program that enables school employees to carry handguns. Scott discussed his reasoning behind the bill after signing it.
I called on the legislature to give me a bill which gives us the ability to seek restraining orders, keep guns away from people with mental health problems and for people who are a danger to themselves and others. This bill does that. I asked for a bill which would ban bump stocks and raise the age to purchase a gun from 18 to 21. And this bill does that.
A North Carolina police officer is facing preliminary charges of assault after body cam video showed him hitting and tasing a man suspected of jaywalking. The FBI is opening a criminal investigation into the probe.
The Asheville City Council says the incident happened in August but the officer resigned in January. Locals expressed frustration and anger about the incident in a town hall meeting on Wednesday.
Asheville Mayor Esther Manheimer spoke about the difficulties of tackling the issue of police brutality.
Everyone has a different idea about what the solution should be or who should be fired or what head should roll. Maybe my head should roll. And I think that, you know, what we're trying to tackle here is an issue that is so complicated and so big with so much history. It's not like one thing is the answer.
After months of insults and war threats between U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, the two are finally looking to make some peace. Last night, in a surprise announcement, the South Korean National Security Director revealed that the two will meet to discuss denuclearizing the North Korean peninsula. Joining us now to explain exactly what all of this means is Talking Points correspondent Jack Watson. Jack, put this into perspective for us.
Well, the United States has been trying to denuclearize North Korea since the early 90s, since the Clinton administration, to varying degrees of success, of course. But on the surface, this sounds fantastic from the South Korean diplomat outside the White House last night. But what we're going to see probably is some qualifiers coming in. Even in the past 24 hours, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has said that, look, these are talks, they're not negotiations, because they've prided themselves, the United States, on the fact that they haven't conceded to North Korea in their nuclear development program. And in White House press briefing today, Sarah Huckabee Sanders says that Trump won't meet with Kim Jong-un unless there are, quote, concrete and verifiable actions that lead to denuclearization. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that.
And Jack, some have questioned, you know, North Korea's true commitment to denuclearization. It's really a tongue twister. I'm impressed that you can get it out so well. What kind of precedent is there for North Korea's behavior?
Well, Noah, like I said, the United States has been trying to denuclearize North Korea since the early 90s. And, you know, during the Clinton administration in 1994, North Korea said that they would denuclearize in exchange for immediate humanitarian aid because they, of course, have problems feeding their people. This is a well-documented issue, the various human rights abuses. So in an effort to concede, the Clinton administration said, you know, we'll give you humanitarian aid. That obviously was 25 years ago, and their nuclear program right now is stronger than it's ever been. So I would take what the South Korean diplomat said with a grain of salt. This is the North Korean regime we're talking about.
Okay, so then if everything goes swimmingly and nothing really happens that would de-emphasize this situation, what are the odds that South Korea gives up its nuclear weapons?
Well, the North Korean regime is obviously...
Excuse me, North Korea, apologies.
No worries. The North Korean regime is obviously very clingy to its nuclear weapons. We've seen this. And the question comes to mind, why now? Why, like the timing of this, why now? Because they've been developing their nuclear program for such a long time. All those announcements last year about them developing ICBMs capable of reaching the United States, and now of all times, they decide, hey, let's denuclearize. It's a very strange time, and that's why I'm going to keep an eye on this with a very skeptical eye.
Yeah, definitely interesting and definitely something to keep an eye on, Jack. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Coming up after the break, we'll have details from the February jobs report on the U.S. economy.
And a former hedge fund CEO is headed to prison. Find out more details to come. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Good news for job seekers. The U.S. economy added over 300,000 jobs in February. According to the Labor Department, the jump is the largest gain since 2016. The national unemployment rate remains at 4.1%, the lowest in 17 years. Wages also increased 2.6% compared to last year. This period of growth is the third longest in American history.
It's the end of the road for Martin Shkreli. The former CEO faces 7 years in prison for defrauding investors. The self-proclaimed pharma bro became notorious for raising the price of the drug Bradbury in 2015. Prosecutors argued for a 15-year sentence. Shkreli will have to forfeit his personal assets, including the one-of-a-kind Wu-Tang Clan album. So the Wu-Tang Clan is known for the phrase "dollar dollar bill yo," but what would be even more money? Some sunshine. Nicole, give us some good news, please.
I'm sorry, I don't have that good news to deliver. As I mentioned, we're going to see some snow moving in tonight. So as we take a look at our Doppler radar, we're going to be seeing some of that snow moving eastward. But as it was today, felt like heavier flakes as they were falling, but nothing really accumulated on the ground. And that's what we're going to really see through tomorrow morning. So when you wake up in the morning, it'll be about 30 degrees and really not really warm up much beyond that to about 33. The snow will stop right around like 1 and 2 p.m. So it won't be lasting all day, mostly just through your morning. And we'll still see some heavier winds blowing as the snow continues to fall. Now, as we talk about some travel delays, as some students are still leaving for spring break, really nothing too crazy to worry about. If you're traveling to Minneapolis though, that's one of the areas you might want to worry about. Some heavier snow will be falling. Along the west coast, LA might have some issues with some rain, as well as over in Atlanta. Some lighter rain will be falling, may cause some minor travel delays. But as we take a look at our 5-day forecast here in Syracuse, as I mentioned, some snow will be falling tomorrow morning, only getting up to that high of 34. It'll subdue through Sunday and Monday, no snow then, but then the snow will be back on Tuesday in the morning and last through Wednesday. Those highs really just staying all around in that kind of low to mid 30s range, and those lows really in the low 20s. Now, while some students are enjoying their spring breaks in tropical locations, another nor'easter could hit the East Coast early next week. And forecasters have two potential models for this new storm. One model, as you see here, says that there's a potential for snowfall as far east as West Virginia and Virginia, as well as will be hitting the coast much harder on Monday. The second model is predicting a less serious impact, including just snow mostly falling on parts of New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Now, from Maine to Virginia, thousands are still without power from the last nor'easter. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Nicole. Coming up, will the Orange be dancing in the NCAA tournament come next week? We'll give you a look at who's in and who's not for now. Plus, a historic rivalry returns to the Carrier Dome turf tomorrow afternoon. I've got those stories and more on the other side of the break.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Breaking news from the NFL. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor has been traded to the Cleveland Browns. In exchange, Buffalo will receive a third-round draft pick in this April's draft. Taylor joins wide receiver Jarvis Landry, who was also traded to Cleveland earlier today. And hello and welcome into sports. I'm Nick Dugan. Jim Boeheim and company picked up its first ever ACC tournament win on Tuesday, but was bounced in the second round by UNC the very next night. If you watched the coverage of that second round game, you heard ESPN's Joe Lunardi dodge not one, but two questions about the Orange playoff hopes. Yes, not even the experts want to guess about SU. Back in 2016, a 19-13 squad snuck all the way to the Final Four, while last year an 18-win team missed the big dance altogether. Now Selection Sunday is about 48 hours away, and Syracuse men's basketball remains squarely on the edge of the tournament field again. And Cuse jumped up to one of Joe Lunardi's first four out after that win over Wake, but a couple of teams have not helped the Orange chances in the past 24 hours. Last night, Conference USA favorite Middle Tennessee crashed out in the quarterfinals to Southern Miss. Lunardi still has them hanging on in the field, and this afternoon, freshman phenom Colin Sexton and Alabama took down the top SEC seed in Auburn by 18 points. Louisville and Oklahoma round out the final teams projected to make the field of 68. 1,871 wins and 21 NCAA championships. Those are the combined accolades of Syracuse and Johns Hopkins men's lacrosse. The two programs will meet tomorrow in the Dome for the 57th installment in the rivalry. SU is coming off back-to-back one-goal victories last week against Virginia in the closing seconds. The previous two meetings between the Orange and the Blue Jays have needed extra time as well, but in 2018 it could be a new face, Brett Kennedy, that helps get the job done tomorrow afternoon.
Especially Kennedy's been picking the ball up off the ground, and to get 2 goals out of him against Virginia, that was, not only are we getting possessions, we're getting points from a freshman defenseman. So that was big for us.
Kennedy's play could be even more important against the Jays as SU attackman Nate Solomon will not be out on the field for tomorrow's game after being handed a one-game suspension for a late hit last week against UVA. Solomon is tied for the team lead with 10 points this season. And the NCAA Track and Field Championships are underway from College Station, Texas. 2 members of the Orange are looking to capture individual national titles this weekend. Paige Stoner will run for SU in the women's 5K event, and Justin Knight is looking for a pair of victories as he will enter into the 3 and 5K. The senior holds the fastest 3K time in the country and is the #2 seed in the 5K. But as he told reporters, he has the same mentality going into every race.
I think just going out there, and I always go out to compete to win, so I'll never go into a race hoping to get second or third, and that's just never been who I was, even from when I was here at Syracuse as a freshman. I'll go into both races just trying to compete hard, and hopefully I'll come out with the gold.
Knight will take his mark for the 5K just after 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight, while the 3K gets underway at 7:10 tomorrow evening. Stoner will follow that up with her 3K appearance at 7:25. Finally, on the PGA Tour, Tiger Woods is turning heads and surprising himself after a hot start at the Valspar Championships this weekend. The 14-time major champion shot a 3-under 68 today, which is good for a share of second place with 4 other golfers heading into this weekend. Corey Connors is currently at the lead in 5-under through 13 holes. Woods is looking to take his first PGA event win since August of 2013.
Thanks so much, Nick. Citrus TV, we'll be right back.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Some breaking news for you. The NRA has filed a federal lawsuit against Florida after the gun legislation passed earlier today. This bill raises the legal age to buy AR-15s to 21. And on a lighter note, birds of a feather stick together, and these 2 penguins are making sure the world knows about their friendship. 2 emperor penguins in Antarctica found a camera in the ice and took a selfie video.
That's right. The Australian Antarctic Division posted the video on Twitter where it received more than 300,000 views. So, Mr. Eagle, as a fellow member of Bird Gang, we have to know, how would you rate their selfie game
I don't know
on a
if I'm
scale
a
of 1
member
to
of
10?
Bird Gang, but I'd say it definitely depends on what filter they were using, what their Snapchat score was. Above 90,000, I'd have to say big time. If that was a Snapchat story intention, also big time. It looked like they were having a good time, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. They were cool, to say the least, in Antarctica.
Whoa, oh, you had to go there. You really had to end the show on that note, didn't you?
It is what it is.
That's all we have for you tonight. Make sure to follow Citrus TV News on Twitter and on Facebook.
And check out the website at citrustv.com.
I'm Noah Eagle.
And I'm Chris Venzon. Have a wonderful evening, Syracuse, and a great spring break.